Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with a little tarot unboxing for you guys. I know you're wondering where is it, but there's a story, so here we go. So remember last time I unboxed this deck, The Beloved Dead, and I talked about wanting to get more decks in this style, and then specifically a deck that I was looking for, that I had like seen the Kickstarter for but missed. Well, I found it. It's the Rosebud Tarot. It took me, not as long as I thought it was going to be. It literally took zero effort for me to find this. I just had to look in my email and, you know, I made it seem like an impossible task, or my ADHD made it seem like an impossible task. Whichever one of those, because I was like, I'll never find it again. It's lost forever. It took me like literally seconds to find it. I just Kickstarter tarot deck, and then there was a list of them because I jump on a lot, but it was right there, just sitting there waiting for me to find it, and then I tracked it down and managed to get myself a copy. So I'm very excited today to be unboxing the Rosebud Tarot because it's in the same style, and when I saw it I really wanted it. I just was not like flush with fundage at the time of the Kickstarter, so I wasn't able to get it, but I got it now, and like already just from the back of the box, excitement. So this is by artist Amanda Stillwell and author Diana Rose Harper, and it's supposed to present a mythopoetic experience of the tarot with fresh card interpretations and guidance for creating your own archetypal journey. And that's the thing that really like appealed to me with this, was that it was like archetypal, because I work a lot with archetypes in my own personal practice, so I was like, well, yeah, you need that. But I also just really enjoy their artwork. They used to have a shop that is no longer selling to the public, so I'm not even gonna bother trying to dredge up the memory of what it was called. But I have some stickers from that shop, and I was gonna get more stuff, but then they switched to doing only wholesale sales on that shop, so I'm not buying anything wholesale. So I was like, oh, sad to let that go. But then they came out with the tarot deck, and I was like, ooh, excitement. So let's get a little bit closer, yeah? Okay, so we're a little bit closer, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, in the time that I spent zooming, I was like trying to wipe what I thought was dust off the box. It's just the packaging, like it's just the design of this like background here, but this like little bit here and here, I was like, why is it dusty inside the plastic? So like I was zooming on my camera and then trying to wipe this off for longer than I care to admit, because it's part of the box. But yeah, it's a nice little hardy box, and I'm really hoping that there is not a single ounce of cardboard in this box, so let's see. Well, I mean, the box is cardboard-ish, but, you know what I mean. You know the thing. So we got our guidebook here. Look, this is the perfect deck. Perfect. The book fits the box. The cards fit the box. I love it. It's fantastic. The inside of the box says, question what you think you know. It's really simple. I do like the nice rosy pink color. So let's check out our little book here. It's very pretty. It's very, like, vintage florals, aesthetics, very vintagey vibes. I love that. I love the card back already. Ooh, the inside is colored. It's in color. Oh my god. And then, oh, there we go. We have even the, trump cards. Yes, those are the words. In color. And they're very simple, short, little, like blurbs about them, and it looks like this one is very interestingly, instead of doing like cups and wands and swords and pentacles, they're just sorted into the elements that they are, which is very straightforward. And then it looks like the guidebook is broken up by the number, and then it has what that number's significance is. So like in this case, the 3s represent birth, formation, and community, and then it has the little bit about you to that and how that kind of relates to that idea. So that's a really great way. I think this is a really neat guidebook, especially if you're like studying like tarot and you wanted to have like a really quick reference on what like the significance of a certain number means. That's really cool. This just says curiosity. The court cards are the people cards. Uncouple mainstream gender from your tarot practice as much as you can, as it will greatly enhance and improve your interpretations. Well, that's fantastic. I love that too, because it's silly. Okay, so instead of page and night and queens and kings. It is curiosity, velocity, generosity, and sovereignty. So that's cool. And then there's like a little bit of explanation here on that. So I really like this like breakdown and reinterpretation. There's an exercise back here for interpreting, oh my god, words are so hard, guys. For interpreting the minors. That's pretty neat. And then there's some of the like the tarot spreads here, and they're all in color, which is nice to get like that through and through the whole book. And even on the like the court cards, it has what they usually stand for. And then it looks like on the majors, it has the uprights, the reversals. This looks like a bit of verse just in relation to that, and then there's like a little explanation of what's actually on the card, and then a little explanation of like the meaning behind that card. And this card's actually dedicated to somebody who passed away, which is sad, but that's really sweet. But that's really neat. This is really interesting. I think I'll spend a good deal of time looking through this guidebook, but we should move on. But I really love it. Like the little roses in there. That's really pretty. And very straightforward packaging. I think the only thing that would probably make this whole thing better or perfect, like the perfect, is a ribbon to lift this out instead of having to dump it out. But otherwise, like, that's the most minorest of minor problems in regards to box design, because I am so thrilled that there isn't a bunch of cardboard padding to make the box bigger for no freaking reason. So yeah, like I said, the card backs are really nice. It feels like a really decent weight for cardstock. I'm just doing the thickness test here. This feels like a general card weight. It's not super heavy. I definitely have cards that have thicker cardstock, but I also have cards that have thinner cardstock. So this seems like a nice quality cardstock. So here we go. First up, we have Sovereignty of Water, which is going to, like I said, replace the suits and the court cards of the Minor Arcana. So this would be like the replacement for King, and then Water would be replacement for Cups. So try to remember. I do like have such mixed feelings about when decks like rename stuff, because I have to like learn the names, but these names seem really straightforward. Like changing Cups to Water is already like something I do when I look at the cards, because I like to, you know, think elementally, like how that's impacting whatever I'm reading. But that's more coming from a place as somebody who typically is an intuitive reader. I like to look at those sort of connections and symbolism when I'm doing a reading. So having it already done for me is just perfect. It's perfect. That's less I have to like remind myself about while looking at a spread. And then I think the names chosen, the sovereignty, the generosity, the velocity, and the curiosity are really straightforward too. Like, that makes sense to me, and sort of captures what that court card stands for anyways. So I think, yeah, I think the renaming here works just fine. In some decks it does, in some decks it doesn't. I think it works perfectly here. So should we be closer? Hold on, let me just look. Okay, tiny bit closer, but I think that works better. This is really pretty. I really like this. I love this collage style already. Like, I really enjoyed that in the Beloved Dead Oracle. I love it here. I saw some of these previews when it was up on Kickstarter. I do not recall all of them, but I remember just being really in love with the art here, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I love the background. I love the scene. It's giving. The crown and everything, and it has the roses, which of course it is the Rosebud Tarot, so I would anticipate nothing less. And then we have the Generosity of Water, and I can definitely see that like queenly energy down here. The watering can thing is sort of a through line here, which is nice to see those sort of parallels. She also has her crown and her roses, and this cute little like turtle friend here. I think I like this overall design. I feel like this is a lot of wasted space, but that's like coming from more of a journaler standpoint than a tarot card standpoint, because I'm like, what if you put something and then it's not my deck. I don't like, it's mine, but I didn't make it, so like I don't have to fill in the gaps. And we have the Velocity of Water, and you know, it's a girl on a horse. I don't have a lot to say about horses, but it's a knight card, so it makes sense. I'm like really interested in the significance of this watering can, and wondering if it's going to appear through the entirety of the water suit as sort of the connective tissue. And then there's this kid with his head buried in the sand, and that's hopefully some other kid, because otherwise it's a little bit disconcerting, although maybe they just removed his head. That's also a thing. It's an interesting choice for a page. But, yeah, 'tis what it is. Oh my god, I need to quit leaving the door open for the cats because I'm just being plagued right now by everything that chose to, like, seize the opportunity to fly into my house. So we have the 10 of water, and I love these girls. They look like they're having a great time. So it does look like the watering can is the symbol for water, which makes sense, but, like, there were cuter symbols out there, but I'm not mad at it. It works. It works just fine. It is a good way to, like, connect everything in the suit together. But yeah, I love this. I love that it's got that rainbow aspect still in there. And we have the 9 of water. She's, like, in a winter coat in this, like, open to space hotel lobby, which is an interesting choice. I think it gets that prosperity and, like, abundance across. And then the 8 of water. And this lady who, like, looks like a nurse to me. Hold on. And I think that's just a fancy hat. But it's giving nurse. It's just a fancy hat with this really interesting, like, train tracks and, like, broken down building in the background. I'm just trying to remember, like, the proper name. It looks like the Coliseum, but it's not the Coliseum. I do love the choice to use color, in the background, like, in the far background, to sort of, like, be in contrast with the foreground. That's a really interesting, like, design choice. And here we have the 7 of water, and this is fascinating to me. You know, these, like, 3 ethereal ladies, this snake, a scorpion, and a spider, along with the watering cans. Like, I want to see the guidebook for this one, because that's such an interesting choice. 7s. Oh, that's so much easier to find than trying to scroll through, like, every suit to get to the one you're looking for. So for 7 of water, we got distraction. And it says, fears, like options, are often phantoms rather than facts. So, I mean, yeah. I can see that works. It's just a really interesting choice. Like, design-wise, but I don't mind it. I like it. Then 6 of water. This is fun. He's cute. These guys are so cute. And then there's, like, a faded, like, tree in the background. It's giving very happy, like, memories and times. And you have this, like, grim funeral procession in this flooded, like, landscape. And even, like, the watering cans are, like, floating away. That's really interesting. And for 4 of water, it's a really pretty moon image. And, like, she looks so austere, seated up there, like, just among her watering can and rose garden. It's really interesting. On the 3 of water, so that's like 3 of cups. So you usually see, like, girls, like, dancing about with their cups, making merry. And here these girls are, like, having a lovely day in a flower field. Looks like they're bringing the water to the flowers. But I also think it's really interesting because the background is, like, greeny, lush flowers. And then as you get closer, the grass is sort of dried up a little bit. So, like, it seems like this work is a little bit necessary. Like, they have to come out here and water the flowers. Which is just, like, interesting little bits of storytelling. Then we have the 2 of water, and I love this image. This is, like, an old image of some lesbians getting married, and I love this because they're wearing a tuxedo and a wedding dress on both sides, like one side and one side, and it's fantastic. And then we have the Ace of Water, which is a little bit underwhelming, but not, like, more so than any other ace card typically tends to be sometimes, so that's okay. I'd like it if this flower was bigger. I think if it took up more space, I would be like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit more, like, eye-catching, but otherwise, still really pretty card. And then we have the Sovereignty of Fire, and we have this walking red flag here, which I absolutely would give up everything for, so yeah, hats off to you, sir, you did the thing. And then we have Generosity of Fire, and look at the little kitty. What's going to be the thing here? I guess it's going to be wands, but they're, like, glowy sticks. Is going to be the thing. She's really pretty. I like the whole, like, circus tent setup back there. And the Velocity of Fire. So we got another knight. And the Curiosity of Fire is this, like, little newsie who's out here on his little bike in space, which is so cool. Ooh, and the 10 of Fire is this little witch. How cute is that? Is this like an ox? I don't know what oxen look like now that I'm thinking about it. Fancier cows, right? Or are cows fancier oxen? Question for the ages. I like this card though, it's really cute. And then we have the 9 of Fire, and we have this, like, mirror imaged thing. You can see like the dividing line where it mirrors right here, but it's really interesting, and I like that like approach to this card. I mean, the 8 of Fire, and it's very actiony, super actiony. I also like that she's carrying the roses, like, at the end of her wand. And then 7 of Fire, look at her. She's like the top of the equestrian charts. I really like that. And then we have the 6 of Fire. And it looks like she's like receiving this award, but she didn't even like enter the contest. Like, she's just surprised to have been like included in this contest she didn't know she was a part of. But it's really interesting. I also like the choice of flowers in the front. It is giving fire, even though it's just flowers. And then we have the 5 of Fire, and these ladies look like they're about to duke it out. And they've already been battling for a while, which I think is perfect for the 5 of Wands. Or in this case, Fire. And we have 4 of Fire. And we got these little kids, like, playing their little trumpets. Everybody's a newsie in this, which is interesting. And then we have the 3 of Fire, and their little astronaut. There's a little rocket ship back there. That's cool. And the 2 of Fire. It's giving, like, World War I vet. Which is interesting. With the whole map in the background and everything. And then here's the Ace of Fire. See how big this rose is? I want the water one to be this big, because this is working for me. This works just fine. I like the fire element. I like the little camps in the background. It works perfectly. Definitely. We have Sovereignty of Earth. And look how chipper this guy is. He is so smiley. Let me see if you guys can see this better. Like, I want to go to this guy's kingdom. He seems really nice. Super friendly. I really like that. That's cute. There's a bucket, and I wonder if the pail is going to be in every card. That's an interesting choice. I don't know, like, because maybe it's because it's garden equipment. Like, maybe that's why it's like a watering can, a bucket, a stick, like those sort of things. And I love this lady with her dogs. She looks so happy. She's definitely a queen. Giving generosity for sure, because those dogs live better than most people. You know that. And then we have Velocity of Earth, and she's on a cow. Or bull. I know the difference. Those are cow back there. But she's having a great time. I love that. I love that they're in space again. And here we have the Curiosity of Earth. And I like her little hatchet. That's a vibe. Like, she's just beheading the roses. And it's very Wednesday, and I'm here for it. And then we have 10 of Earth. And this seems like the worst game ever played, but maybe they're nicer than me and my friends would be, because we definitely would lift that up to the point where you couldn't jump it. But that's just me and my friends. And then we have the 9 of Earth. And we have that abundance vibe coming through here, so that's working really well. All for little buckets and her little, like, bird friend. And it seems like she's sincerely listening. Like, she's like, yeah, tell me about your day. Like, what's up, man? And the bird is giving her the whole rundown, like, all the gossip. And then we have the 8 of Earth, and we have another one of those, like, mirror image things going on here, and I like that. I like how cute this is, this little girl and her nana. Like, how sweet is that? And then the 7 of Earth, and these guys are like, they're the ones doing the decorating, maybe? That's interesting. Looks like some hard work is happening here. I do really like the way that this deck plays with color against, like, these vintage images and stuff. I think that's really interesting. I love this, like, cooperative element of the 6 of Earth here. Like, they're just, like, putting up their garden together to make all these little yellow roses grow. Then we have the 5 of Earth. We have this, like, Mariner, which is an interesting choice for an Earth card. But, sure. And he's, like, tying up his boat to this dry dock. I'm really curious about the narrative behind this one. I'm definitely gonna have to look at that later, but that's what we got. And we have the 4 of Earth, and she's a vibe. I love her. She's got all of her books here, her alcohol. What is this? There's a towel, and it looks like maybe some sunscreen, some suntan lotion. Like, she's set. What else does she need? Nothing. She's got it all. And we have the 3 of Earth, which is these really sweet kids, like, playing a little ring around the rosy. That's really cute. And the Two of Earth is another mirrored card, but this one's a little bit, it's got some variations here. And it's just these jugglers. Why is that so hard to say? We have the Ace of Earth here, and see how large this is? I also like that as well. it gives powerful ace vibes, and I like that. Also, shout out to the ace people, because they also give powerful ace vibes. And then we have Sovereignty of Air. It is really interesting that we got all the minors before we got to the majors. Usually most decks are arranged in the opposite, but I'm okay with it. That's still very interesting to me. I also love this old lady with her pruning shears, which is a good stand-in for swords. So I think the suits symbols have been replaced for garden tools, and that makes sense to me. That's a good tie-in to roses. And then Generosity of Air. I love this little fox. I'm like just here for the little fox, but she's really pretty, so that works as well. And for the Velocity of Air, we have another horse. This one doesn't have a tail. Where's your tail, sir? I don't think that's an important detail. I wonder where it went. But it's an interesting card. I like the desert background. That's fun. And look at this little kid with the little fox. So, like, there's a little fox theme also going through here, too, because that's precious, and I love it. And the pruning shears are a little bit intimidating, a little imposing in the background, but, you know, 'tis what it is. And then the Ten of Air, which, like, it's definitely hospital. She's definitely giving, like, competent doctor vibes. I'm just curious about the choice in decor in this hospital, ma'am. Like, I want to leave with all my limbs. And then we have the Nine of Air, and I think that, yeah, that works. I would also be unable to sleep in a room where garden shears were just hanging on the wall above me. And then we have the Eight of Air, and this is interesting. Instead of, like, doing the person in the middle of swords sort of deal, you have this cat's cradle, and then, like, all these guys doing cat's cradle as well, which is, it's the same guy doing cat's cradle, to, like, sort of symbolize that entrapment feel, which is a really interesting choice. Also very interesting that the shears have been mirrored here. And then for the Seven of Air, we have foxes again. On a couch, just chilling on a couch. With this, like, little spooky eye moth in the background, which is interesting. And for the Six of Air, we have this, like, this little couple having, like, a nice night out watching the wild garden shears, you know, migrate, or whatever they do in the ocean. So very interesting choices. I love it. It's very quirky and fun, and I'm really enjoying that. It says vote for women, so we have some suffragettes. Fantastic. It's also kind of interesting that we have this, like, suffragette in the foreground, and it's like a white lady, but then you have these two black ladies in the background, which is sort of emblematic of the suffragette movement, because the efforts of black women were definitely overlooked in favor of platforming white women, and, you know, it was a much more palatable idea to let white women vote before they let black women vote, which is what happened. But interesting that that's here on the card. I don't know if that was, like, the inspiration for it, just what it puts me in mind of. We have the Four of Air here, and this guy, like, looks a little bummed out, little football player, just having a hard time. And we have the Three of Air, and she's really having a hard time, which makes sense for this card. She's definitely been betrayed by somebody, and you can feel it. She's going through it. And the Two of Air is this blindfolded lady running around with garden shears, and that seems dangerous, ma'am. Looks like you already got to the roses. I'm going to stay on the other end of the hall. Just a fun little bit of storytelling. And then we have the Ace of Air with this mirrored, like, pyramid image, and I really love that desert scenery again in the background. I think the colors are great on desert scenery, so it works really well. And then we're going to go backwards through the majors, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see. I think I've migrated a little bit since I started. So here we have the World card, and then this beautiful lady, like, expanding her consciousness in this, like, interesting space. And then we have Emergence. Is that the Wheel of Fate? Just 1 second. I feel like there's some explanation, maybe, that I have missed for maybe some name changes on the majors. Understanding yourself. Okay, so ooh, it said Watering can, staff, shears, and pots. I probably should have looked at the beginning of this. And then it talks about the elements and the majors. So it said that the name changes will be listed in the parentheses, like the Rider-Waite-Smith names will be there. So, Judgment. I don't know the cards by their numbers. I don't know why I pretend like I do. So Emergence has been changed from Judgment. That's an interesting change. I'm not going to look into it completely right now, but that is an interesting change. Also, is that like a little pupa? Like a little larva? Yeah, a little caterpillar like pupas. And then these fairies, this weightlifting like fairy dude, they're really giving. She's really sweet though. I like her. And then we have, wait, backwards. That was backwards. I forgot. I changed it so I could change hands. And then we have the sun, and I love her. She's definitely giving. I like the lights replacing like the sunlight here. That's really pretty. And then like the rose is also sort of filling in for the sun. I love that. This lens flare thing is interesting. It's not on every one. So you had like the consciousness expanding little moment here. And then you got a little lens flare going here, which is neat. That's a good effect for the sun. And then we have the moon. And it's still got the wolf elements in here, which is neat. And you have another flower here. And then she's just like vibing with the moon. Like they're besties, definitely for sure. She's got her glass of wine. They're chatting it up, being mysterious, magical people. And here we have the star. And this is beautiful. I absolutely love her headdress. Like that's so nice. And then you have that bright star in the background among the wash of stars there. And it's like one of those old vintage, like galaxy photos, which is so pretty. Like space photos. Super neat. So I really love that. That's a really beautiful card. Then we have the tower. It's really interesting. There's this like, it's not brick, but it's not cobblestone, but like stepping stone, like road. Stepping stone? No. That's not right either. Paver stone. Pavers. They're pavers. Road that's like all cracked from this like incident with the tower. It has the lightning effect here, and then this like cart is like sinking into the crack. Definitely giving tower vibes. And then we have the devil, which like, I'm into it. This works. Definitely works. It's got Saturn in the background too, which is a really good like choice for the devil card. And then I love like these little mirrored snakes framing in this image. It's really interesting. This is like an old bondage image, or just a black and white one. I don't know if it's like vintage. Her top looks like, which she's wearing looks vintage, so probably yeah. And then we have alchemy for 14, and I don't know what that was supposed to be. I'm not gonna pretend. It's temperance. So that's an interesting change too. I really like that. The idea of like alchemical transformation as opposed to just moderation is really interesting, because you have to be sort of moderate doing science, right? You have to be like, you can't just wildly throw a bunch of shit together. You can't prove that again, right? You need to do it the scientific method. So I think that works for temperance. Also, little kitty made a return. But then also like she has this like little witchy altar going here. She has her candle, her cup, this like bowl of salt. So her elements here, space. I love all the space elements in here. You guys already know I really enjoy like a good cosmic space spread. It's like what I use on the intro to my channel, so I'm loving the space stuff here. And we have death. And I love this because in addition to having this like grave scene and this like, you know, little death character here, you have these like roots and this new life also springing from that to show you that death is not always an ending. It's also a new beginning. So that's really pretty. And then you have Lily of the Valley, which is poisonous plant, is poisonous flower. And then some like alcohol here for like libations, but also like another emblematic of a poison, just a much slower poison than most. So I really like that. And then this is Pluto, I believe, because I can see the little heart here. So very interesting like planetary tie-ins, the right planetary tie-ins, which I really appreciate too. Because if they were random, I would be a little upset. And this is the Hang Up, which I'm guessing is the replacement for the Hanged Man. Yes. Which works. That's not a big name change. It definitely works and sort of deconstructs the necessary, or the not necessary, the assumed placement of gender within the tarot. It breaks that up. Yeah, that's just definitely don't fall into that. That's awful. And then we have balance. which is the Hierophant. Nope, Justice. Stop guessing. It makes sense. It's the Scales of Justice, you guys. I should have known that. I don't know what the planet is. Neptune, maybe? Because it's blue? That's a guess. But then we've got our shears back, which is interesting. It's an interesting choice. But I do like this. I do like this. Because you're like weighing the one set of flowers against the other. It's giving that vibe. And then we have the wheel. Has the Wheel of Fortune always been 10? I just guess. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. We have this mirrored merry-go-round, which is definitely giving the Wheel of Fortune vibe. So yeah, I'm not even going to look that one up because I see it. I see the vision. And I like the little tickets and dice element. It gives it more of that like chance sort of aspect, which is emblematic of the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Seeker, which is, I don't know, the Hermit. I should have maybe put that together. And then that's Mercury. I'm feeling very proud of myself for my ability to recognize planets today, guys. We have these like really cool quartz elements in the background. But yeah, that's a really good card. That works. You can see sort of like where maybe the Hermit has emerged from to come share their wisdom. And then we have Strength. And I love this. I love that it's giving like a vintage carnival strong guy, but strong girl here. And then these lions are definitely super fierce. So she's definitely super brave, just standing right there in between them. That's really interesting. The moon in the background is really interesting for Strength, because that's not normally what I would associate, but it works. It works. Then we have the Chariot, and it's this lady and two cats. And it's giving Thelma and Louise, even though it's not Thelma and Louise. It's Thelma and Louise and Mary the driver. But that's very interesting. I really do love this. I love the colors back here too. How much brighter they are than the foreground. I really love that. And then we have the Lovers. And look at these handsome gentlemen. I love that a lot. So there's like some fruit trees. There's some snakes there, giving a little bit of the like Garden of Eden vibes, a little temptation bit, which is associated with the Lovers already. And just this really nice, like, vintagey, romantical scene. Look at that. What a cute couple. And then we have the Professor. That's the Hierophant. Yes. Finally. But I love that. I love this. It makes the Hierophant less of a spiritual card to me, I think. It's probably the only, like, detractor. But it still gets the point across of sharing that knowledge and sort of re-educating. And she looks very smart indeed, so I would definitely listen to her. And then we have the Elder, which is replacing the Emperor. Now that we're in the 1s, 2s, and 3s, I know where we are. But I like that. It's giving, like, because of the icy background, that sort of cold authoritarian vibe, without that over-dominating patriarchal vibe that I normally get from the Emperor, and is sort of a turnoff. I like this. I think this works just fine. I like that reconstruction. And then we have the Life Giver for the Empress, which also works. Look how cute they are. They're just... That's precious. And I love the little, like, conservatory background. It seems like a very peaceful place, which works very, very, very well for the Life Giver. And then for the Witch, this is the High Priestess. So we have the double pillars in the two different colors. This mirrored image of this fantastic witch. I love this dress. That's amazing. Up against the moon background. It's a very interesting motif. I really like it. I think it works really well. And then we have, for the Magician, we have the Mage. And it's giving, like, those old school gurus that maybe weren't actually gurus but just con men. It's giving that a little bit. Less of like an alchemical force, more of a con man, but I think it still works. It still has the infinity symbol. You have this like caterpillar here signifying the potential. So yeah, I think that still works. And then we have, for the Fool, we have the Youth. And look how cute this is. Look how stinking cute this is. I love this. She's so cute. And her doggy is cute. And she's on her little journey. Like, she's running away from home, guys. She definitely was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna leave. And she's doing it. She meant it. She committed to the bit. That's super cute. I love this card. I'm not normally like a big fan of the Fool card in tarot, just in general. Because I feel like it calls me a fool every time I see it. But, like, I feel like she's not calling me a fool. And I think that's nice. I do enjoy that recontextualization. And the youth is so much nicer to say than the fool. So, yeah, I love these cards. These are fantastic. I am super happy with them. It's exactly everything I wanted, and I'm very happy that I could find them. I think the only thing that would make them more perfectly perfect is if they were edged in some kind of way. Like a nice, pretty, dusty rose color edging would be fantastic. I don't think I have like a rose colored foil. I might obtain that and then just foil them because I think shiny is better. Otherwise I'll just color them and edge them myself. That's totally doable and something I enjoy. But otherwise I think they're great. I think the white cardstock, like the matte white cardstock, works really well for the collage aesthetic, and I'm really just happy to find this. I think I'm really going to enjoy working with this deck, and it's going to be probably fairly easy to read intuitively, but I am interested in like looking through this guidebook and getting a good like grasp on the vibes that they were going for doing this. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your faces, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Until then, happy crafting. Bye!